David R. here. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, kind of the story of my life, by Scott Adams. Scott Adams has written several books. He's written this one, obviously, but he's written others. He's also the creator of the Dilbert comic strip, as you see here. It's very well known. It's made Scott Adams a very rich guy. I don't know a lot about Scott Adams. I do know he is a Trump supporter, and he has a hot girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, whatever she is, but she's very attractive. That's about it. I do know that he wrote a pretty good book here, and that's what I'm going to talk about, but I didn't really do a lot of research on the author this time. So anyway, Scott mentions that he failed his way to success. Yeah. Chapter 4, he says, some of my many failures in summary form. He mentions some of his favorite failures. Now, I'm going to only list 3, but there are many. For the first one, he says he created a meditation guide with a friend, and the thing only sold like 3 copies. But he did learn some things from this. He learned about marketing and product development. Yeah, that's a good thing. The second one is Psychic Practice Program. This was a computer program that tracked the psychic ability of its users. Now, since Scott Adams is a hypnotist, I guess this would kind of go in line with that. But this was another failure. But he did learn some things, with the computer programming that he applied later to his cartooning career. And then the last one here is Webvan. This was an investment. It wasn't something that he created. It was just basically a grocery store delivery service where people would order their stuff online. And it failed. He lost a lot of money. But he learned from his failures, and he kept moving forward, and eventually became highly successful. Now, for the remainder of this video, I'm going to refer to page 3 of the book tease. He just lists basically everything he's going to talk about in the book. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that list and then fill it in from other parts of the book. Like the first one, goals are for losers. He says goal-oriented people are in a constant state of failure. He says you don't want to be goal-oriented. You want to be systems-oriented. And he refers to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For the first one, be proactive. Reactive people take a passive stance. Proactive people recognize they have responsibility. Begin with the end in mind. Imagine a good outcome. Start with a clear destination in mind. Use your imagination to develop a vision of what you want to become, and use your conscience to decide what values will guide you. Put first things first. Set priorities. All activities can be based on 2 factors, urgent and not urgent, or important and not important. Think win-win. Don't be greedy. Both people win. Agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial and satisfying both parties. Seek first to understand, then be understood. Before we can offer advice, we must seek to understand another person through emphatic listening. Don't listen with the intent to merely just reply. Synergize. Use teamwork. Celebrate your differences. Sharpen the saw. Take time to rest. Rest is just as important as hard work. Do some self-care. That's important. 2, your mind isn't magic. It's a moist computer you can program. He mentions Dianetics, and I will read that in a second, but I believe that you can reprogram your mind through self-hypnosis and through affirmations, mantras, meditation, changing your habits, journaling. There's a variety of ways you can reprogram your mind. Now here's the quote. He says, if the idea of reprogramming your mind sounds like L. Ron Hubbard's Dianetics and the process of auditing, which is at the core of Scientology, that's about half right. The part that's right is that Dianetics also attempts to change behavior by changing the way you look at yourself and what makes you do what you do. Ask yourself, why do I do what I do? And you will get an answer. Number 3, the most important metric to track is your personal energy. Maximizing personal energy means eating right, sleeping right, exercising. But you don't want to pollute your energy by being an asshole. And these are some asshole characteristics. For one, changing the subject to yourself, always talking about yourself, dominating the conversation. You know, there are people like this. They always want to be the center of attention. Bragging, cheating, lying, not following the laws of society. 4, every skill you acquire doubles your odds of success. Now, he made a list of things that every adult should acquire. For instance, public speaking, psychology, business writing, accounting, design, basic design, learning a second language. He mentions in California, if you know Spanish rather well, you could succeed there. And there's other ones he lists. I'm not going to go into all of them. 5, happiness is health plus freedom. He says, the only reasonable goal in life is maximizing your total lifetime experience of something called happiness. And happiness has more to do with where you're heading than where you are. I don't entirely agree with the part about where you're heading than where you are. Why can't you just be happy where you are and doing whatever it is you're doing? Can't you just find happiness there? Do you always have to be moving from point A to point B? And then once you get to point B, you're looking to point C. And then you get to point C, you're looking for D. Can't you just be happy at point A? I mean, sure, I don't mind looking forward. I do that myself. But can't you just find some kind of happiness at point A? Number 6. Luck can be managed, sort of. He says, all success is luck if you track it back to its source. Every element of your personality, from your perseverance to your risk tolerance, to your ambition, to your intelligence, is a product of pure chance. I don't entirely agree with that either, because I think you can work with what you've got, and if you have an overwhelming desire to achieve whatever it is that you're after, I believe that you can at least come close to it. Everything is going to be relative to the situation, to where you live, to all sorts of things. But I do believe that luck is often created, or it's like manifested, let's say. It's not just by chance. The lottery is chance. Although you still have to play the lottery in order to win the lottery. So it's not entirely luck, because you actually have to do something. Number 7, conquer shyness by being a huge phony in a good way. So basically, take on the role of an extroverted person and you will become the extrovert. Fake it till you make it. That's what he's talking about here. He says it's easier to act like a more extroverted person than it is to be yourself. Number 8, fitness is the lever that moves the world. He gives a lot of must-dos, things that you should do in terms of fitness. I don't agree with all of these, but I'm going to read you some of them. Do 30 minutes of aerobic activity daily. I don't agree with that one. I don't know what he means by daily. Maybe it means 5-6 days a week. I think that you should do 15 minutes maximum in terms of aerobic activity. You don't want to do too much, because then your cortisol will go up. Cortisol is not good when it's really high. Add high intensity interval training in there somewhere, or even maybe do cardio once or twice a week, but do HIIT maybe twice a week as well. Kind of mix it up like that. It says stretch. Yeah, stretching's good. You just don't want to do too much stretching. You could do yoga probably on maybe one of your off days. Hydrate. Yeah, drink a lot of water. Eat protein within 30 minutes of strength training. I've never heard that one before, but I guess it makes some sense. You don't want to have indigestion though. Carb load the night before an exercise day. It depends. I don't know. It depends on your activity level maybe, but I don't know about carb loading, and I'm not sure what he means by carb loading. I mean, that could be a lot of carbs. It could be in the hundreds. I don't know about the carb loading so much myself. He says, do resistance weight training every other day. Yeah, depends on how much you're lifting though. If you're lifting a moderate amount of weight or something like that, 4 days a week is okay. But if you're lifting really, really heavy, you might have to cut back on that because you'll need some time for recovery. He says do 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. That can't hurt. Vary your workout to create muscle confusion. Use proper form for lifting. Number 9, simplicity transforms ordinary into amazing. He says on a personal level, simplicity frees up time and frees up energy. Now I'm going to read something to you from Psychology Today. It's an article called 5 Ways to Simplify Your Life. They say, declutter your house. Like Jordan Peterson would say, clean your room. 2, get rid of bad mental habits. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, that sort of thing. 3, cut out toxic people. 4, take charge of your money. Hey, you want to spend your money right? You want to buy books? 5, gain control of your time. Stop mindlessly scrolling through Twitter and Facebook and all of those. I recommend this book. I recommend a lot of books. Pretty much every book I read, I recommend. This one's a good one. I'll probably read more from this guy in the future. But as for now, yeah, I enjoyed this. It's not very big. It's 250 pages or something like that. Well, anyway, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.